Thanks, Chris, and thanks NinjaTrader for having me today. So I want to start with something I think most of you will relate to. You know you should be journaling your trades, right? Everyone tells you this. Every book, every successful trader, every mentor, journal your trades, review your performance, and it makes sense, total sense. But here's the thing, most of us don't actually do it. Or we start with good intentions and then we stop. And then what do? We blame ourselves. I'm just not disciplined enough. But what if it's not about discipline at all? Before we dive in, let me ask you something. And feel free to answer in the chat or just think about it. No pressure, either way. Do you currently journal your trades consistently? Like every single trade, every day? If you do, you're actually in the minority. Most traders don't. Second question, have you ever started journaling but then stopped? Yeah, same here. I did that at least 5 times myself. So if that's you, you're not alone. And one more, even if you've never started journaling, do you believe it could help your trading? Think about it. I guess as most of you just thought yes to that one. You know it would help. You just haven't done it yet, or you tried and it didn't stick. That's exactly what you're going to talk about today. But first, who am I and why should you listen? So, quick intro. I'm a software developer, been coding for over 15 years now. I trade futures, mostly on Q, sometimes yes. And I'm also a NinjaTrader vendor. I build professional indicators over at steadyturtle.com. I'm based in Germany, but I trade the US markets. So that's me. So here's the problem I had. I wanted to journal my trades. Like, I really wanted to. I read all the books, heard all the advice about journal your trades, review your performance, identify patterns. And it made complete sense. I was totally bought in. So I tried different journals, different approaches, even built my own spreadsheets at one point. And every single time I quit. Now here's what I told myself. I'm just not disciplined enough. That was the easy answer, right? Other traders can stick with it. Why can't I? Must be a me problem. And I believed that for way too long, actually. But then I started analyzing why I kept quitting. And what I found was interesting. So what was actually going on? Turns out it wasn't my discipline. It wasn't my commitment. It wasn't that I didn't want to journal. Every journal I tried was built for everyone. And here's the problem with that. When you build for everyone, you end up building for no one. These journals support every broker under the sun, every asset type, stocks, options, crypto, forex, futures, you name it. Complex options, Greeks, portfolio tracking, social feeds, long-term investor dashboards. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't need any of that. I trade 2 instruments, ES and NQ, on one platform, NinjaTrader. That's it. I don't need crypto wallet integration. I don't need options Greeks. I don't need to see what other traders are posting on social media. What I need is simple. Get my trades into the journal without thinking about it. Assign a setup, maybe add a tag, done. Under a minute, every day, zero friction. But with these generic journals, that simple workflow was impossible. And when I really broke it down, there were like 5 specific things that kept breaking. Not vague, I'm not disciplined stuff, but actual concrete friction points that made me quit every time. Let me show you. All right. Here are 5 specific things that kept making me quit. And I bet at least a few of these will hit home for you too. Problem 1, manual CSV exports. Every day after trading, I had to log into NinjaTrader, export CSV, trades to a CSV, and then upload it to some journal. Doesn't sound like a big deal, right? It's just 2 minutes. But here's what really happens. You finish trading, you're mentally exhausted, you just want to step away from the screens. And now you've got admin work to do. Export, upload, wait for processing. Day 1, yeah, fine. Day 2, okay. Day 7, you start thinking, I'll do it tomorrow. And that's where the cycle breaks. Problem 2, file format issues. Even when you do export the CSV, sometimes it doesn't match what the journal expects. Missing fields, wrong date format, trades don't import right. So now you're troubleshooting CSV files instead of analyzing your actual trading. Problem 3, time zone chaos. NinjaTrader exports in UTC. Some journals want EST, some want your local time. So your 9:30 a.m. trade shows up as 2:30 p.m. or 1:30. And you're sitting there manually converting timestamps just to figure out what actually happened. Problem 4, feature overload. This one really got to me. I'd open the journal and there's tabs for stock portfolios, option creeks, social feeds, showing what other traders are posting. I don't need any of that. I trade ES and NQ. That's it. But I'm paying for all these features I'll never touch. And worse, they're cluttering the interface. So I can find the stuff I actually need. Problem 5, dead data. I mean, most journals ask you to write text reflections. How did you feel about today's trade? And then, yeah, you go ahead and write, I felt nervous on trade 3. I was impatient on trade 7. Great. Now what? You can't analyze that. You can't chart it. You can't measure whether you're actually getting better at managing impatience. It's just words sitting in a box. Dead data. So what happens? You stop journaling. And everyone tells you it's about discipline. You just need to commit. You need to stick with it. But that's not it. You stop because the friction outweighs the benefit. The tool is making journaling harder, not easier. And that's when I finally realized it wasn't me. It was the tools. So I stopped looking for a journal that worked and just decided to build one. That's how TurtleMetrics was born. I took each of those 5 friction points and eliminated them. Friction point 1, manual exports. Gone. There's a NinjaTrader add-on. You install it once, takes about 2 minutes, and from that moment forward, every trade syncs automatically. You close a trade, it appears in your journal. No exports, no uploads, no files. You don't even think about it anymore. Friction point 2, file format issues. Eliminated. There are no files. The add-on talks directly to the web application. Your data goes straight from NinjaTrader to TurtleMetrics in exactly the right format. Friction point 3, time zone problems. Handled automatically. Trades are stored in UTC on the backend, but displayed in whatever time zone you want. Eastern, done. Local time, done. Friction point 4, feature overload. TurtleMetrics is intentionally simple. built only for NinjaTrader future traders. No crypto, no stocks, no options, no social feeds, no portfolio tracking, just futures data and the analytics that actually matter for day traders. Friction point 5. Dead data. Replace with structured data. Instead of writing, I felt impatient, you assign a, let's say, revenge tag or FOMO category to that trade. Now you can actually measure it. Actionable data, not just journal entries. So that's how I removed all the friction. But here's what really matters. All of that boils down to 3 core promises. And if TurtleMetrics keeps these 3 promises, you stop thinking about journaling. It just happens in the background while you focus on what actually matters. And that's trading. So everything I just walked through, all 5 solutions, they really come down to 3 core promises. Promise 1 is set it once, journal forever. You install the add-on one time. Takes 2 minutes. From that point forward, every single trade syncs automatically, every day, every week, every month, forever. You never export another CSV, never upload another file. It just happens. Promise 2. See what moves your P&L. TurtleMetrics shows you the analytics that actually matter. Which setups are making you money, which ones are bleeding you dry. What time of day you trade best, what time you should probably stop trading. No vanity metrics, not nice to know stats, just the data you need to improve. Promise 3. Build for how you trade. This is futures specific, NinjaTrader only. So if you trade options, this isn't for you. If you trade stocks, this isn't for you. If you use Webull or Sink or Swim, this isn't for you. But if you trade futures on NinjaTrader, this is exactly for you. And that's completely intentional. Now, let me show you how this works. All right, I'm going to do this in 2 parts. First, I'll show you a quick recording of the complete setup process. Installing the add-on, connecting it to your account, watching that first trade sync automatically. This way you can see the whole flow. Then we jump into the live web application and I'll walk you through the actual interface, dashboard, analytics, everything you'll be using day to day. Okay, let's start with the recording. Give me a second here. Okay. Let's keep this running. So we log in. Okay, so this is a fresh account. No data yet. You can see the welcome screen. First thing we do, we download the NinjaTrader add-on. Okay, in NinjaTrader, then we go to Tools, Import, NinjaScript add-on, and choose the zip file we just downloaded. NinjaTrader asks if we're sure we want to authorize this. Yes, we do. Then ask us a second time if we want to compile it. Yes, we do. And the last message will be to restart Ninja for the add-on to become active. Let's go ahead and restart. Log in. Give it a second to load. Okay. And in the main menu under New, we have a new item called TurtleMetrics Sync. The next step is generating an API key. So we go back to the web application, generate the token, then copy and pasting it into the add-on. Then we choose which accounts we want to monitor. Up to 5 is possible. And only trades from active accounts sync to the web application. Now we hit sync everything, and this imports the historic trades, so nothing from the past gets lost. Back to the web application, we hit refresh, and all the trades from this account are now in. Okay. Next step would be to place a live trade, just to show you how easy this is. So we go back to NinjaTrader. Switch to MNQ just as a precaution. And then we just execute with trade. This part is fast forward, otherwise it would have taken a bit too long for the video. Let's let this play out. Okay, trade is closed and immediately sent to the web application. Now if we go back to the journal, hit refresh, there's the trade. Literally seconds ago, it's already there. So let's assign a setup real quick while it's fresh in our mind and we knew what you did. You can also add some tags. Save it. That's it. 2 minutes to set it up, and from now on, every trade just appears. So that's a setup process. Install once, runs forever. Now let me show the actual web application. I'm going to share my screen and walk you through the actual account because this is where you'll be spending the time. Give me a second to switch screens. Okay. So when you first log in, this is what you see, the dashboard. Up top, you've got your key metrics at a glance, current P&L, average number of trades, and the average daily profit. Below that, you've got your performance metrics, and then at the bottom, this table shows you most recent trades. And this is actually really important for the workflow because there are basically 2 ways you can journal your trades with TurtleMetrics. And way number 1 is you keep your TurtleMetrics open while you're trading. So every time you close a trade, you just hop over to TurtleMetrics, hit refresh, your trade's right there at the top of the table. You click on it, assign a setup, maybe add a tag or 2 if something's notable happened. This is the advantage that your memory is still fresh. So you know exactly how you felt during the trade, what you did right or wrong. And it's probably the most accurate way to journal. And the way number 2 is you finish trading for the day, then you log in and review everything together. Let me show you what this looks like. So here we go to the calendar view. There's your whole month at a glance. You can see which days you traded, how much you made or lost on each day, how many trades you took. Green days, red days, it's all there visually. So in this example, we're looking at October, and you can see on October 21st, we made 392 on 3 trades. Let's click into that day and see what that looks like. So, all right. Now we're looking at Tuesday, October 21st. We made 392 on 3 trades with a 67% win rate for the day. And see up there, it says here, the mouse, 1 of 3. That means we're currently looking at trade 1 of 3 from this day. So up top, we see the key stats for this trade: direction, total P&L, entry time, duration of the trade. And below, we have the actual price chart with our entries and exit marks. I can zoom in, see the actual candles where something was bought or sold. And at the bottom, we have a forecast P&L. So what would your P&L have been if you held the trade 1 minute longer, 3 minutes longer, 5 minutes? So sometimes this confirms you made the right exit. Other times it shows you left money on the table. Either way, it's useful data. So you go through all the trades for the day, assign setups, tags, done. Edit details and whatever you want. Click them, and here's the setup. Here are the tags. So that's the 2 approaches. Method 1, journal in real time while trading. Memory is fresh, takes 30 seconds per trade. Method 2, journal once at the end of the day, maybe more efficient, but your memory about each specific trade might have faded a bit. Either works, whatever. Pick whatever fits your style. Next, we go into the analysis section. Let's start with setup performance. So this is probably the most important page in the entire application, because now you can actually see which setups are making you money and which ones are losing you money. So if you look at the charts up top, win rate by setup on the left, profit and loss setup on the right. So in this example, we can see trend continuation, failed break, both 100% win rate. But if we look at pullback to moving average, 33% win rate. And on the right chart, that setup is actually red. So it's losing money. So that's actionable data right there. If you keep trading that pullback setup, you're bleeding money. Maybe you stop trading it, or maybe you figure out what's wrong with your execution on that setup. But you can't fix what you can't measure, and this measures it. And down at the table, you get all the details: number of trades per setup, win rate, profit factor, average win, average loss, net P&L. And below that, we have the advanced metrics, consistency score, largest win, largest loss. So this stuff is stuff that actually helps you improve. Not how did you feel today, but which strategy is making you money. Next one, look at the tags. So setups tell you what you traded, and tags tell you how you traded. So we have the categories: negative in red, positive green, and technical in blue. So exited too early, 7 trades, but 100% win rate and made over $1,000. Interesting, right? So you're being too cautious, but at least you're still making money. Position too large, 2 trades, 100% win rate. Okay, so when you size up, you're actually doing fine. Maybe it's not as big as a problem as you thought. But if we look at revenge trade, 4 trades, 50% win rate, negative 74. So there's your problem. And then we have the positive tags: good size management, perfect entry, and so on. These are all winning. So you can literally see, when you follow your plan and stay disciplined, you make money. When you revenge trade, you lose. And again, this is structured data you can actually analyze. It's not just words in a journal that you write once and never look at it again. Okay, one more view. Time of day analysis. So this one's really eye-opening for a lot of traders. Top left, win rate by time of day. And you can see in this example, 10 to 10:30, 100% win rate. But then look at 12 to 12.30. Win rate drops to 33%. And on the right chart, average P&L for that time slot is actually negative. So what does it tell you? Stop trading during lunch. That's when you're giving back your morning profits. Or if you're in Europe like me and you're trading the US Open, maybe you're getting tired by a certain hour, and the data will show that. Bottom chart shows trade count by time. The table breaks it all down: trades, win rate, profit factor, average win, loss for each 30-minute window. So this is the kind of insight you can't get from a spreadsheet or a text journal. You need the data categorized, structured, visualized, like to actually see the patterns. So that's the analysis section. 3 views: setup performance, which strategies are working; tag analysis, how are you trading, what behaviors help or hurt; and time of day, when should you trade and when should you stop. And remember, you didn't have to manually calculate any of this. You didn't have to build pivot tables in Excel. You just assigned a setup and a tag or two when you logged your trades, and TurtleMetrics does all this analysis automatically. That's the power of structured data. That's the power of removing the friction. All right. Last thing I want to show you real quick is the management section. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but it's worth knowing about it. So here are your trading setups, what you saw earlier in the analysis. The ones you see here are defaults I've set up: double bottom, top, failed break, continuation, all that. But here's the thing: you can change these however you want. Edit them, delete them, add your own. If none of these match how you trade, delete everything and start from scratch. It's completely customizable. The same here with the tags. So the default is you've got technical tags, negative tags, positive tags. But these are just starting points, ideas to get you going. Maybe you want to add emotions category instead of technical. Go for it. You want different tags that match your specific trading psychology work? Yeah, add them. It's your journal. Make it work for you. Then we have the API section. I mean, that page, there's only 2 reasons to come here. First is the initial setup, which we've already done. And the second would be if you ever reinstall NinjaTrader or you switch computers, just come back here, generate a new token and paste it into the add-on. Done. That's it. You won't spend much time on this page. And lastly, the account management page. So all accounts show up here. If you don't want a certain account tracked anymore, just delete it and all the trades from that account are removed as well. So that's the management checks. Quick, simple, and yeah, that's really the entire application. Dashboard where your trades come in, calendar view to review day by day, and the analysis part to see what is working, and the management to customize everything. All right, let me jump back to the slides and then we wrap this up. So that's TurtleMetrics. Let me paint a picture of what your trading life looks like with this. You finish your trading day. Maybe it was good, maybe it was rough, doesn't matter. You close NinjaTrader, your trades already synced, already in TurtleMetrics, automatically. No export, no upload, that part's done. Now you log into TurtleMetrics, you see your today's trade, assign setups, maybe add a tag or two. That's less than 5 minutes, done. If you compare it to the old way, exporting CSVs, uploading, waiting for processing, fixing formatting errors, writing text reflections that go nowhere. TurtleMetrics cuts it down to 5 minutes of actual useful work. and the data entry is automated. The analysis is instant. All you do is categorize, which is the only part that actually matters anyway. So if you've been struggling to stick with journaling, or if you never started because it seemed like too much work, this is your solution. So let me show you how to get started. All right, let's talk about what this costs. Regular pricing is simple. It's 19 bucks a month or 190 a year. Now, for context, most journals charge between 50 and 100 per month. TurtleMetrics is 19 for everything. There's no premium tiers, there's no hidden upgrades. But for everyone in this webinar, there's something special. If you sign up before November 1st and use code NINJA20 at checkout, you get 20% off the yearly plan. So that brings it down to 152 for the entire year. And here's how it works. You get a 14-day free trial, no credit card required. You install it, sync your trades, test it for 2 weeks, completely risk-free. If it doesn't work for you, trial just ends. Nothing to cancel. But if it does work, and I think it will, you use code NINJA20 when you subscribe and you get that 20% off. So if you've been struggling to stick with journaling, or you've tried other journals that cost twice as much and frustrated you, or you've never started, but you know you should, that's your shot. All right, that's TurtleMetrics. Look, this was built by a futures trader who happens to code, not some big software company. I built this because I needed it, and I'm betting some of you need it too. I've got time for questions. You can type in the chat, happy to answer. Thank you. Yeah, I hope people find it useful. It helped me stick with journaling for the first time ever. So maybe it helps someone else. Thanks for your time today.